We covered some of the background on integrated management. Now we're going to look at the how. In the previous things we've talked about there being mandatory procedures in 9001, 14001 and 18001, such as control of documents, control of records, internal audits, control of non-conforming product and service, which we put into control of non-conformance, corrective and preventive actions. We've also talked about 14001 and 18001 requiring legal and other requirements and emergency planning to be clauses to be matched, and they are inherent in the 9001 side. We've also covered that if you really comply with 9001 to the spirit, by adding the process and methodology of 18001 is probably only going to add 25% to your workload, and enhancing it further for 14001 a further 10%, and that will give you an integrated management system. What we haven't covered is what it might look like in a PATA form. So using the 9001 structure, taking management system as the first section, all the manual details, all the control of documents and records would fit neatly under that. Management responsibility and organisation, the policy, the planning, the responsibilities, the legal would fit neatly under that. Resources, human resources, infrastructure, work environment fits under that one. Product or service realization operations are a little bit more difficult to get a grip on, but if you think that it starts with the process flows and moves to risk assessment, that makes a lot of sense. Adding customer factors and purchasing into that from the operational point of view is a clear, correct place to put it. Finally, measurement, analysis and improvement. Now that is monitoring, non-conformance, evaluation and compliance. So you can see in a nutshell how you can fit the standards headings into a 9001 structure. But how does Smart ISO approach it? First of all, a gap analysis of the company. Now this we do in three elements. One is to look at the management system. The second is to look at legal and regulatory side, and the third is to look at process flows. Yes, gaps in that, but that could then lead to risk assessment from the gaps in that. From the management system, we would fill them by documents and the management side. From the process risk and the legal, that would preventive gap filling from the actions that would come out from that. We would then monitor everything through a non-conformance regime, and that would lead to continual improvement. So that, in a nutshell, is the flow of the Smart ISO system. Gap management. We have a number of questions that you would have to ask that would show you what standards and where you stand against the standards, give you guidance on what the standard contains and what you're looking for in the question, and from that it will give you an analysis against 9001, 14001, 18001, etc. The legal and regulatory. It starts with all the law that you've got available to you, and you decide whether it's relevant or available. We help on the available side by giving you links direct to your government websites. The process flows. We enable you to draw up your own process flows if you can't already, and the advantage of this way is that electronically they're all linked to each other, so you can show drill down of how one process flow may lead to another, etc. And print them out in such a way that it's self-explanatory and it sticks on a wall, can be used for teaching and for training and for anything you want it for, showing a client. The process risk assessment takes those step-by-step approaches and can add hazards to it from the 18 headings or so that we've got as natural classifications. We include in it being able to upload images so you can make reports and work instructions even clearer. The document gap filling leads to the document management system, and you can see here we've got a layout for how it's structured, but you can click on 14,000 and it will reshuffle to that standard. Or the preventive gap filling deals with all the preventive actions that we picked up and carries them through on the action tracker. Non-conformances such as first aid, incident reporting, or non-conformances themselves, be they hazard, be they quality, be they whatever, close calls. And finally, continue improvement to make sure all this links together. And where does it start? It starts at the login screen for Smart ISO.